opportunity. But now, as mentioned, let's go to the first match. It is going to be Virtual World against Dragon Link, Vincenzo against Dhruv. If our players are ready, let's go to the table. Nice. So, definitely a good one to start things off. As mentioned, we already saw Vincenzo in a previous event. We talked about how he is the pupil of Massimiliano Santoro, another famous player in Italy. And unfortunately, it didn't quite work last time, but now he's trying his best to make his, friend proud and just take it home. As mentioned yesterday, the Italians had a great show.
Yeah, actually, we have 3 players out of 4 1-year-old, so...
Yeah, it is the country most represented in the top 8.
And I believe that, I think Vincenzo yesterday didn't miss out the opportunity to see the whole matches, to gain some advantage out of his players and opponents. Especially because, like, now Dhruv is not, doesn't know what he's going to be facing, so...
Yeah.
Yesterday we saw how still Dragon Link powerful is, and
absolutely. And I think he might have even won the die roll just by how they're looking. We'll see. No matter what, as you mentioned, definitely Vincenzo having a little bit of an advantage. He will be able to pilot even his deck differently depending if he prioritizes ending on a Savage, a Seal, which we have seen yesterday from the other Dragon Link player, or maybe prioritizing a different kind of end board. So,
and what we really liked about yesterday for the Dragon League player deck was how he was able to play when he was Ash Blossom on the Chaos Space.
Yeah,
putting up an incredible field and winning the game, and still I believe that this deck will be super powerful after October 1st with the No Forbidden Unlimited list, because it's still played nowadays with this current format, and starting from next week I believe it will be one of the most played deck along with Drytron as well. We've been talking about this a lot yesterday in our meta discussion as well, and I really like the fact that he can still play around a lot of end traps, so really nice to see this. And like here the die roll, as we saw yesterday from Dhruv, when you play Virtual War of course is important, but not that important if you go second, because the deck can still play, and especially considering that Dhruv plays a lot of end traps.
So I think we can go quickly back to us for just a few minutes. Okay, thank you. So we can talk about the deck list. It seems our players were ready, but apparently just Dhruv will have to fix his deck before restarting. Luckily for them, they didn't present their deck yet, even though of course it's remote dueling, so he will not be awarded a penalty. But we can go through the deck lists real quick. Outside of their archetypes, it's interesting that Dhruv is actually maining a lot of Entrap and the Draw and Lock, which we saw yesterday being devastating against the Tritron he faced.
Yeah, it was crucial. Yesterday, I think Draw and Lock, alongside with Lancia, was the most powerful hand trap being played this weekend. And what we also saw this weekend, that players actually changed their mind. Some players actually played a really small package of hand traps, like 6, for example, and other players are still relying on playing from 12 to 15, 16 hand traps.
Yeah, and in particular, something interesting is that Nibiru wasn't as popular, especially in the main deck, but Dhruv is maining it, and I think that's a really good thing here against a deck like Dragon Link, which on his own instead, I think it's only playing Ash and Gamma. So definitely riskier if he loses the die roll here. So as we mentioned, it's a matchup that can go either way really, because we saw yesterday how the Virtual World deck sure is a combo deck, but it's not as when True King of All Calamities was in the format. Now he can play even as a grind deck and just do a few things, set up 1 or 2 negations, and then that could work against it. But if he loses the die roll and he doesn't open up a strong end trap, I think the room for coming back, especially, yeah, he's not maining any sort of forbidden droplet or talent, which we have seen in a lot of deck yesterday. That could be a huge problem.
Yeah, especially because like we talked about how the lineup of Virtual War changed after True King of All Calamities was forbidden. The deck is still super good, and
yeah, now as we can see, we can go back to them for the beginning of this day 2. As mentioned, it seems like it will be Vincenzo who opens up, but let's just see.
yeah, if you won the right roll, of course you're happy with this because Dragon Link needs to put pressure out of his opponent, and once again Dhruv's playing multiple hand traps.
And yeah, that's the thing. So we open up pretty well with the Star Liege, so the Seafurt, and that's really good. It gives you access to the Wyver Buster, Collapse Serpent engine. For now, Dhruv is fine with it. I agree, honestly. I mean, you can drop an end trap here, but you can also get punished, especially by a Gamma. Let's see. So Vincenzo really thinking about this.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Dhruv has drawn a lock, for example. Because like here, of course,
significantly. Yeah. Okay, instead he opts to just go for the Rocket Engine, and let's see if Drawn a Lock is in the end, as you mentioned. We could also see a blowout, and there is, but Gamma could be there for Vincenzo, and it is, oh, what a start, but the Ash. Wow, okay. These guys have not been feeling the Sunday sleepy. They both took their coffees and they are ready to go. What a start with the Droll and Ash to stop the Gamma. That would have been game over on the spot for Dhruv, who now has a chance, but still the talent. Wow, what a start. And deserves so much. Great hand by Dhruv, though.
Dhruv has an incredible hand, actually. Especially because, like, now, what do you pick?
I mean, it depends on the rest of the hand, but I think the Desires is a no-brainer. Because he has the Gamma. So worst case scenario, if you get rid of the Desires, they know you have the Gamma. You can even pass turn here, and then if they want to go for the Lily, you just Gamma it. So
exactly.
I think definitely an incredible hand from Dhruv. Only playing 2 Drawn and Lock, but he opens it up in one of the best matchups for it. But Vincenzo, nonetheless, talent and Gamma. So definitely a huge start by both players.
Okay, get rid of the CD. Because like if he would have get rid of the Desires, then he would have been left with the CD. So Qinglong plus Lily. But as you said,
yeah, you can just Gamma.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much I like this, but maybe he has the Ash. It could be that Vincenzo even has the Ash Blossom, and at that point he doesn't care about the Desires. So that would make even more sense. If not, I gotta say I don't like this decision too much, but let's see.
Yeah, Vincenzo just pass for like if he has both Gamma and Ash, he can consider.
For sure. But even with the Gamma, honestly, it would have been fine to just pass on a city. But let's see. The options are good, and honestly, adding the Rocket is much better against Troll than adding a Wyver Buster or a Collapse Serpent. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, I think it's he's definitely thinking about just ending the turn. Yeah. So player back to Dhruv, and honestly, if we don't see an Ash Blossom here, I am, I don't know, a little bit skeptic about the decision from Vincenzo, but we'll see if it will pay off. Big turning point, Vincenzo allows it, so wow, brave decision by Vincenzo. Allowing his opponent to draw 2 cards, hoping that they don't open up any way to combo off, and it is paying off. So sometimes being brave is the key, and Dhruv unfortunately doesn't pick up another copy of City or Qinglong, and he's just forced to set you in pass. And now Vincenzo,
exposed.
Yeah, is pretty happy about this. He knows there is a Lily, and he will just start things off with the Dragon Maid. Let's see.
So, like, I suppose... Oh, he drew...
Okay, Gamma. honestly, okay,
it's
not
fine.
the end of the world, but I fully checked if he banished the driver first, because that would be a disaster if that wasn't the case. Yeah, and it is there. Okay. So, still problematic, but there is a big chance that Dhruv picked up a trap.
Yeah.
And so, in that case, he can combo off next turn.
Yeah, maybe we picked up a Chuche, and
Yeah.
now if Vincenzo doesn't have any other extender here, of course Dhruv.
Yeah, you can pass back, but now, I mean, I would be surprised if he didn't have anything going on in a deck like Dragon Link. Yeah. And this is kind of a telegraph, I think. If you don't add one of the dragons with the Seifert, I think you have it every time. And now we can see the Striker Dragon. We know that there is a rocket in the end, so the booked sector launch is really, really good.
I think the only trap except Chuche is impermanence from those, right?
No, he doesn't even play it. So the card is more likely a Call by the Grave or even the double copy of Chuche or the Skull Wu. So let's see. Definitely not the best, and I think Vincenzo, as you mentioned, will play around impermanence. He doesn't know that he doesn't play it, but it's not even that scary, honestly. You can do a lot of stuff here.
No, we were skeptic about keeping the desires in Drew's end, but actually the risk paid off. And
yeah, definitely a big risk, I think, though, because if he picked up another copy of City, then the problem is, and not even City, just a lot of outs. The problem is that you are in the same spot, but they have another card outside of City. So I really do not agree with that decision, but it is paying off, and let's see.
And now I think most likely we will see like the standard combo from Dragon Link we have seen also yesterday, passing on with the... Yeah, okay, goes for the Wire Buster first, makes sense. Then he has the chance to activate the launch. He has the Tracer in his hand. Dhruv, I believe that his set trap card doesn't do that much at the moment, especially if he has the Cold Buy. That will be a good solution, but if he does not, I think Vincenzo can make a very powerful combo.
Okay. So we see a Link Summon, we could see the Romulus to get the Dragon Raid in, and even more advantage, but let's see how Vincenzo wants to play it. Okay, he'll play more defensively with the Euratic Seal already. Of course, he doesn't have another copy of Collapse Serpent, and now, yeah, not a surprise. Booked Sector Launch, a special summon from the end, and then maybe just make a Savage, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. We know that the last card in the end from Dhruv is the Lily, and that's not really helpful here. So, and he even has a second rocket to special summon, so that's
good for him.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a fine solution. Either want to risk the Romulus maybe to being impermanence and
yeah. I mean, we'll see if he's feeling lucky with the Chaos Ruler, or he just makes a Savage and calls it a day. Let's see. Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He does make the Chaos Ruler, so this is a big moment. So let's see what he fetches. Okay. Even the Levianeer is there.
Okay.
Okay.
Not bad. I mean, that's fine. He milled the Noctovision plus the Chaos Space. Could have been worse.
No, for sure. It's actually pretty good. The
could have been
Levianeer is amazing here, so now you can even get rid of the Lily, and I think the game is pretty much over every time. So
yeah, I think on one end they didn't want to go for Romulus, and being like with this lineup, I think could have been more happy than this.
But I think he instead is going to destroy both back rows. Maybe. I think he banished both.
Yeah.
Both light and darks, I believe. So let's see. I mean, it makes sense as well, because if you leave the Lily there and you have the Hieratic Seal to just bounce if they top deck a city or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, worst case scenario, you got impermanence, but
yeah.
I mean,
you probably get impermanence either way on this.
Yeah.
So Dhruv
Yeah.
thinking about it, not like he has a choice. We know that the impermanence is not there, so unfortunately we
He had
lose.
the gold
It
by.
was the called by.
He didn't use it.
Maybe he just wanted to use it on the seal later on during his turn, but unfortunately this did not pay off, and now he is left in a very uncomfortable position. And now Vincenzo will try to just OTK, and he knows that the last card in hand is the Lily, so I think very well played.
Access code, yeah. This is the first time that we see access code this weekend.
Yeah.
And looking
as always, a great choice, and unfortunately, Dhruv picks up his card, and Vincenzo, although he was the only player we did not see yesterday, showing up really strong here, taking game one very convincingly. Still, if we have the option and the chance, we will ask him later on today about the decision on the Pot of Desires. I thought that could have been a really good choice, but I mean, it worked out for him. He wasn't really risking it. Kind of a bad end from Dhruv, I gotta say, outside of the opening, which was insane. But great Yu-Gi-Oh for now. And what do you think Dhruv is gonna do now?
And now I believe that Dhruv wants to go first, especially because having Shenshen on the field against Dragon Link could be a very good solution for him. And on the other hand, what he could side in, taking a look at his side deck, actually he has a good side deck when going second. When going first, on the other hand, I don't think he's going to side deck. Maybe if he really wants to, he has the Phantasmi, which is fine.
I mean, I guess the other copy of Droll could work if he feels like siding out Gamma when going first. Usually you could see Imperial Order and Anti-Spell Fragrance, but in this specific matchup, they are not the greatest. On his other side, we said that Vincenzo was maining 6 Santrops. And in his side decks, he has a few other options, but not really for this matchup, I think. So the Pancrotops is a decent card, Lightning Storm and Twister can work, but they are not really stopping the combo from the Virtual World deck. So I'm not sure. I'm not liking either side decks too much, but for sure winning game one is a huge deal. So let's see if it will be enough to just run on this advantage and Vincenzo advancing as the first player today to the top 4.
I think Vincenzo has to be more than happy how this game one turns out, because having Tronel LOL and Ash Blossom for Dhruv at the spot was amazing. And especially because after leaving the side in Dhruv's end, he was not lucky enough to bring any of his Virtual War cards to combo off. So I believe that winning this game one for Vincenzo was real gold for him. So
okay, so they are ready. Again, it's gonna be Dhruv this time who will start things off and try for the first time, because he still haven't resolved a single Virtual War card. So, to get things going. And he will do so by normal summoning the GG and revealing, let's see.
Yeah, I think what about Virtual War deck that at the moment, as you said earlier, there are not super specific cards against this kind of matchup. So if really Vincenzo wanted to sell him some cards, of course the Pancrotops or the Lightning Storm, but here comes the Ash.
We see the Ash already from Vincenzo. Is it gonna be enough to stop Dhruv? Not quite. Is it a Lily?
Yeah,
I can't quite. Yes. Yeah. So okay, solid start by Dhruv. Pretty good end, although it was full of monsters. It was the GG who really saved the situation, as he needed something on the field.
Yeah, I think here we have seen this during our last Remote Duel Invitational. You usually Ash hoping that your opponent doesn't have any other Virtual War monster. And I think Dhruv is more than happy with this Ash Blossom because he had the Lily.
For sure. No, it was a risk possibly worth taking, but it worked in game one, and it can always work your way. So this time Vincenzo get punished, but let's see if Dhruv will figure out another combo. He doesn't seem to be super sure about what to do, but maybe he's just thinking about possible second entrops from his opponent. And yeah, for now, he can resolve in peace his spell. I mean, you can get the Lao Lao, you can get another GG.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So, yeah, he will get rid of the one he cannot use anymore. And now, yeah, he has quite a few options. Of course, he can also banish the trap from the graveyard to bring something back. And let's see, as mentioned, the deck is not as straightforward as before, and this is exactly what we're going to see. Yeah, makes sense. I get something back. Here, the deck can do a lot of different things. It seems like, okay, he will go for a Synchro
Salmon. Yeah, okay, the Coral Dragon and
okay.
Fishing for something. And now he goes for, cannot quite tell, maybe it's the Tzolk'in,
Yeah,
should be, yeah.
Tzolk'in, so for now standard stuff, and this is a big turning point if his opponent will have a response or not.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about yesterday, how the deck changed. You can go for the Tzolk'in, and having this kind of star is always good for the Virtual War deck.
Yeah, he has in particular an interesting version even in the extra deck with the Kaliga.
Yeah.
It really depends on which matchup, but for sure Kaliga can be annoying against this specific matchup with the Muddy Dragon, so it's an interesting combo.
Okay, now Dhruv sets one.
Yeah, he will trigger it and yeah, Crystal Wing, so already putting up one negation. It probably isn't quite enough in this matchup, but unfortunately that's all he can do. So play is back to Dhruv. If the face down is a trap, of course, he has basically much two negates, we can say. So let's see what Vincenzo is going to do to approach this field.
Yeah, very solid stuff from here. You can see the Ultimate Tzolk'in on screen.
Yeah.
I like this combo. I think this is solid, especially if Dhruv has the Chuche, and I mean the graveyard is full of monsters, so especially like the turn later, he has two cards in hand, so I think
he has a lot of end traps, so we might even see another end trap from Dhruv. So solid stuff, and now the pressure is on Vincenzo. So start things off with the Lightning Storm. Let's see what he wants to destroy. It is the face down, it looks like.
Yeah. Okay, just chaining it, maybe.
Okay.
Shuffle backs 2. Yeah, I mean, Lightning Storm was a generic one, but Vincenzo's side is not full of specific cards against Virtual War, so that is fine.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. In the side decks, you see a lot of different things, and you never know what to expect. So it's a pretty generic choice. But now he needs to deal with this Crystal Wing, and let's see. Okay, Cow Space, and now we can see if he has a Gamma, because this smells like Gamma to me. And if you're Dhruv, what are you going to do? Yeah, I think he's not gonna risk it.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, right, not to take the risk, because otherwise you basically risk to lose the game like this. Maybe Vincenzo was hoping that Dhruv maybe activated the Crystal Wing. We will soon see if really Vincenzo has the Gamma in hand. Otherwise, what else? Okay.
Yeah, for now, not much of a surprise. It's Dhruv who is playing pretty well around the possibility of a Gamma, but now the advantage will quickly get out of hand. We did not see a draw and lock from Dhruv. And as you can see here on the screen, this is the main line of defense from Dhruv.
Is he going to resolve the Wyvern Buster? Like, I think he has the... Or does he have the Collapse Serpent in hand? Cannot quite tell. No, okay. He gets the Sector Launch and the Collapse Serpent as well. Here he needs to deal with the Crystal Wing. It's not easy. He needs to find a way. Especially because like he's 3000 attack, so...
Yeah, it was always annoying. We saw it in the past plenty of times in the invoked deck back in the day. It's always been a synchro that it's really one of the easiest to bring out and still nonetheless quite annoying.
Because now if you go for the Hieratic Seal, because like you could go Collapse Serpent, then make Hieratic Seal, I think you force your opponent to activate the Crystal Wing, but you don't really solve like the situation, you know?
But the problem is you also need to use it in your opponent's turn, so then you're not really forcing it out.
Exactly. I mean, it's not... Now he goes with the Cow Space, like, he needs to find a solution, because if he goes for the Hieratic Seal, it doesn't really solve the matters, because like next turn he simply negates it, so...
Yeah, he's really trying to bait his opponent out, so I think a lot of players might have negated with the Crystal Wing, the Cow Space, like they could have thought about what the option was, but of course you cannot negate spells, only monsters, but the decision is on Dhruv, where to activate this monster negation.
Okay, goes with the Romulus, which is interesting. Is he going to activate the effect?
I mean, I don't know. It's usually it's not enough. Like one single negation is not enough. But maybe this will be the case where Vincenzo is not finding a way.
Okay, he gets the Ravine and the Wyvern Buster. Because here you cannot get rid of the Tzolk'in.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the Crystal Wing is
you need to bait. You need to really find a way to bait it out. I really don't want to believe that he's not able to do it with such a large card advantage. If there is no Entrap from Dhruv, I don't know. It's quite unlikely that Vincenzo doesn't find a way. Even if that was the case, why didn't he use the Storm to just destroy it? So, I mean, here we see the Ravine. He's also not playing, I believe, the Dragonity monsters in the main deck. No. A trend, I guess that when you play 40 cards is more than likely to happen. When you see the 60 decks, then you can fit 1 or 2 copies. But yeah, now he gets the Router, trying to get to the Rocket Engine as well. But Dhruv is like completely unfazed by this. He's like, unless you threaten to destroy this Crystal Wing, I'm not gonna do anything, so...
Now you negate the... I think he wants to negate the Sector Launch.
It starts, but because he can only negate monsters, so...
Alright.
The problem is,
what is he
it's starting to be a little too late here from Dhruv. Maybe he's holding into an Nibiru. And we'll see the Nibiru at the very end of the turn after a negate from the Crystal, and... let's see, but he's also running low on resources, so if his board is answered with only 2 cards in the hand, he's not even start to rebuild.
Yeah.
So yeah, here no surprise. Sector Launch, you will special summon the Tracer, and if he's holding anything else, that too. Because even then, if he gets to the access code, that could be a problem.
Yeah. I think Vincenzo is now thinking about it.
Yeah. Again, checking out the description, he's probably asking for the second part of the effect, just to make sure he doesn't mess up. But as we showed you guys on the screen before, once you negate the effect of a monster, it will gain the attack. And if it battles a level 5 or higher monster, it also gains the attack. So back in the day, it was quite hard to deal with. Nowadays, with Link monsters, it should be much easier. And especially as we mentioned, the access code is could be a great way of doing that. But let's see.
Here Vincenzo needs to go for the sector launch,
Yeah.
no matter what. Yeah.
So let's see if he only has the tracer. It looks like that. Okay. And if he activates it, he will be locked under darks. So we also have to keep that in mind. I don't know. Do you negate this?
I think I would wait if I were Dhruv. Like, yeah.
No, he lets it through. Wow. Because even here, if they don't do much and they go for an access code, I think it's not even that bad, right?
No, exactly.
Let's see.
No, I think Vincenzo with this should be happy.
Yeah, I think Vincenzo now has got the best of this.
It's like if he didn't use the crystal wing on the sector on the tracer, now he's risking for sure the access code then.
So for now we'll see another summon from Vincenzo. Let's see what's it gonna be. Okay, Chaos Ruler, and again here another opportunity for Dhruv to activate. But at this point he does. Wow. He does it. He can summon it back potentially, but
do you agree with this?
I mean, it's unfortunately a reveal from Vincenzo. Okay, and now yeah, he just brings it back, and I don't know. I think he took an unnecessary risk, I gotta say. Yeah, he fixes the zone, of course, since it was occupied by the Solkin.
Yeah, because like if he had negated the tracer, then
yeah, I mean he had to take a risk here then, and I think it probably would have made a huge difference, as we can see here with the synchron. But I think Vincenzo can easily OTK here.
Yeah. With
the access code, right?
Yeah. Now you can go
because then you get back the Chaos Ruler.
Yeah. I think he has a huge chance here, and if he figures that out...
Yeah, because it was negated, now you can just punish, bring it back, and it's enough. So I think, unless there is an end trap, we can see another sweep OTK, and he's exactly trying to do that. As we can see here, he's gonna make the access code, gonna make the... bring back the Chaos Ruler from the graveyard, and I think this is gonna be quite tough to come back from.
I think it was very well played by Vincenzo, who patiently waited play after play, and here comes the access code.
Here is the access code once again, one of the cards we have seen closing the majority of duels of this past format, and once again, yesterday we didn't really see much of it, but Vincenzo today already threatening to win 2 out of 2 games with this card. And let's see if there is anything that can stop him. Doesn't look like it. He will now banish Chu to bring back the Chaos Ruler, and this is 8,500 points of damage. I think Dhruv needs a miracle. Can he activate this Nibiru? Let's see. No. He does! Wow, okay. So still not over. Dhruv, we called it that the only card he could have was the Nibiru, and Nibiru was there, so absolutely slow rolled by Dhruv, who seemed like he was hiding something because he was way too calm to be losing this top 8 match. And Nibiru is there, so now we have a game on our hands, and let's see if he can pick up any of his virtual world cards. Wow.
Xinglong.
Okay, Xinglong. We know it's a Shushin Grave. He needs any monster to really be comboing off.
It's the Lao Lao.
And it's the Lao Lao. Okay.
I think Nibiru was the only one saving Dhruv.
Yeah. Then Nibiru was clutch for sure. And this could actually make a huge difference. And I think we could see a game 3 depending on what Vincenzo has. Let's see. He's thinking hard about this. Does he actually have a response? It looks like... Ooh, the Twister!
Twister
nice! And even at the red eyes to combo off. So Vincenzo even hold the red eyes. But now we are gonna pretty much have a top deck war.
Yeah.
Because now you can banish, but you don't have too much going on. And I think the token was also pretty big.
Yeah.
Because he tributed the Chaos Ruler and the Access. So we have to check the defense. Okay, no, it's only 2500 in the defense. So luckily for Dhruv, he can kill it off, which he does. And now it's just a top deck war. Let's see. Vincenzo needs a good card off the top. And I think I still like Dhruv position more. He can banish the spell now, yeah. It was quite tough for Vincenzo to pick up anything useful. And now I think Dhruv has so many top decks that allow him to combo off. Even if he just get a GG here and just discards the newly top deck card, I think he can easily OTK. So... Okay, yeah, the same thing. So with the Nyan Nyan, so...
I think we gotta give credit to Vincenzo, who was able like to play around the Crystal Wing. Dhruv was holding like the Nibiru.
Ooh, and even the greatest of top decks. Yeah, this is an easy OTK, and unless there is a miracle once again for Vincenzo, I think there is not much that can happen. With the Lao Lao, the setup in Grave, this is so much damage coming towards Vincenzo's face.
Was not expecting this to happen. Like, seriously, we thought that the game was closed and sealed. And now, I think game 3 is approaching.
Yeah, I mean, here, especially the top deck was insane, because you can banish it, bring back, just have another Synchro Summon, and yeah, the game will be swiftly over. But what a way to do it, as you mentioned. Decent opening by Dhruv, not the best, but then Nibiru hold when everything seemed lost. And honestly, even what a way to do it, because we know that in a few situations Vincenzo could have actually even played around Nibiru. But he was brave enough, and now we see Vincenzo picking up his cards. He knows that this is over, so let's go to the game 3. And now everything changes once again, because... we go to the side deck from Vincenzo. He's playing a combo deck. He doesn't want to side out too many cards, but he does have the Rivalry, which is an interesting option to bring in for this matchup. So maybe we can see that. While if you are Dhruv, you can bring in a lot of end shops. He was already maining a lot. He has 3 Phantasmes, the 3rd Droll, and 3 copies of Dark Lure and no more. So honestly, I thought Dhruv was out, but after looking at the side decks, I think now his deck is looking much better than that of his opponent.
Yeah, definitely, because like going second, he has a very solid side deck, and of course, I don't believe Vincenzo is siding in some cards because like he wants to combo off, but on the other hand, especially because like Dhruv plays a lot of end traps in his main deck. Alongside with the Dark Lure No More, the Droll, and the Phantasmi, he has a lot of resources to contrast Vincenzo's juggling deck.
Yeah, I think one of the only things that could work in his favor is, as I mentioned, maybe the use of the Rivalry, because it can be quite annoying, because that's probably the only thing that Dhruv is not gonna side for.
Yeah.
We can expect him to side out everything, so maybe he will not even have many outs to the Rivalry. We'll see. But maybe Vincenzo doesn't even want to side it for this matchup. So.
I like the fact that Dhruv decided to basically hide this Nibiru as long as possible, and actually paid off.
Yeah, even the hand gesture I think I really liked, and body language in general. He was completely not even looking at his hand, acting as if the game was over, and then the very last second Nibiru. So well played for sure.
It was not easy for Vincenzo though. I mean, he was able to play like around the Crystal Wing, I think, very well, but he was punished by the Nibiru. I'm very happy to see game 3 here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, now between these two guys, I think Dhruv is the one taking a look at the side deck who is more prepared.
Takes a sip of water, and again, for one of these guys, it will be the last end of the tournament. Let's see and stay tuned to find out who will advance to the top 4 and will be the first player of the tournament to do it. So. So they are almost ready, and let's see, it's gonna be Vincenzo who starts things off. Dhruv really trying to pick up some of his virtual words, and of course again the Nibiru would be nice, the Dark Ruler no more even. Let's see. Vincenzo really taking his time to look at this hand and figure out what to try and what to not try. One of the best cards you could pick up is probably the Talent, as he did in game 1. Especially because once you get to the side deck, sure, Dhruv side deck is really strong, but it's almost to the limit of an overside. So Talent could really make you brick. Okay, so solid start here with the Cow Space, no response, but maybe we'll see the Duel and Lock.
Yeah, if we see like game 1... Droll,
Ooh, and we see the Levian here. Interesting. Okay, maybe he's having both Collapse Serpent and Wyver Buster already in his hand. Definitely an unusual start here from Vincenzo. Let's see if there is a Droll from Dhruv. Really taking his time to consider it. He really doesn't want to see the Gamma, but I think he's maybe asking for a translation because he has never seen Levian here getting added to the end like that.
But I think if he has the draw and lock, as we saw in game 1...
Yeah, and as expected. Yeah, there is no draw, but of course there was the Collapse Serpent that was pretty much telegraphed.
Now I'm curious to see, because like, of course he is going to pick up one new card. He has the Levian here.
Yeah, the draw was would have been clutch, so now he picks up a card. Let's see. Again, really... Ooh, okay, the draw. So, nice play from Dhruv. He really doesn't want to lose to the Gamma, and he plays around it pretty well here. He doesn't... I think it's a decent play. It's something that definitely an experienced player would consider. And it's a matter of how much am I willing to risk. So I think it makes sense, because in the end this +1 you get back by them having to waste the Collapse Serpent if they want to link away it. So...
Especially because like now Vincenzo needs to adapt a new strategy if he really wants to continue and push.
Yeah, so he goes for the Tracer, and we could just see here a very quick turn with either a seal and just a pass, honestly. And yeah, he does go for the seal. Dhruv is playing free Phantasme, we might see that, but not looking like he's too interested to respond. Okay. And yeah, play is back to Dhruv. Very underwhelming opening by Vincenzo, thanks to the draw and lock. And now we see Dhruv speeding by and already going for a normal summon. And revealing a GG, I believe. Yeah. So usually you would see the other way around, but yeah, we are going to see the Hieratic Seal, and this is not a surprise. So we get both cards back together, and this would make sense if Dhruv is holding a City or the Qinglong, because now he would have not wasted the Lulu. So well played if that's the case by Dhruv, and now we can see maybe a Brotor. A lot of options from Vincenzo.
Yeah, considering how he started things off, I would expect Dhruv having City or Qinglong,
I agree. it's also interesting because he wasted, in a way, the effect. Because he would have also went to the battle phase and kept the GG available, so that really and sends me a vibe of I cannot TK and okay, we see the other option. Since he already has the Levian here, the Dragon Maid can make more sense. So he gets the Tiding, and let's see if Dhruv has one of the spells. He could even try and push enough damage for game here, considering the very few entraps in the end from Vincenzo.
Let's see if he has it.
But he passed back. Wow. Whew. Definitely an unusual start from both of these players. The Dhruv passed back to Vincenzo, who only opened with a seal, but that was more than enough to actually stun his opponent. And that's a great news if you are Vincenzo, because now we get to see the striker. And you know in the back of your mind that whatever what happens, even the Tiding is insane, because it does the same and Dhruv needs to top deck something. And this is what I meant when I said, yes, the side looks really good on paper, but it's almost to the point of oversiding. And I think that's what happened here with Dhruv's end. So
because like we know 2 cards out of his 5N card, and I mean either he has all monsters or a lot of end traps. But otherwise, I think we would have seen another Drawn and Lock being played.
For sure. And he honestly didn't have the chance to activate any of the other hand traps, but now we already see the Levian here, I think.
Yeah.
Which is gonna try and snipe a card off. So no response yet from Dhruv. Let's see. We could have a quick game on our end, but I think after last game, Vincenzo is really gonna try to play around Nibiru, because that was probably, carrying some traumas. So, yeah, gets rid of a card. Unfortunately, we don't get to see it. But...
yeah, he needs to be careful about Nibiru, because this is the 3rd summon, right? No, 2nd one.
No, not third, the 3rd. Because he went for the striker.
Oh, yeah.
No, striker because you already had the time.
Okay.
So it's the 2nd seal.
Yeah.
So now he's gonna go for the 1st summon. But I mean, if he plays carefully, just okay, goes for the seal again. Interesting.
Now this means that he has to pass for the 5th summon. This is the 4th.
Yeah. But I mean, he can play it this way so that if he goes for the Nibiru, the Hieratic Seal triggers. And then you get to still continue your combo. So maybe you can play around that possibility and just OTK nonetheless. But yeah, for now he has the Tracer. We know he has of course, the Sector launch. So we'll see that in action real quick. Yeah, so not a surprise. He will special summon some rocket from the end, and it's only 1. So maybe we can just see the Savage... and the seal. I mean, the seal alone was already enough. He even has the Tiding in hand to pair it out. So I think he's doing really well here. Do you think he goes for the Chaos Ruler or just the Savage and play it?
I will go for the Savage here. I mean, I think it's the most safest one.
Yeah, I agree. So Vincenzo playing it safe. Once again, the Nibiru does not come out, and this is terrible news for Dhruv, who was already holding a bad hand, and I think if he doesn't top deck Dark Lure no more, this smells trouble for him. So
yeah, because like without having Nibiru, now Vincenzo is free to do whatever he wants to, and especially because like he can push enough, and then having the Tiding gives you another advantage as well. Dark Lure no more, of course, would be an incredible blowout.
Yeah, but here, now that he's safe with the Savage, yeah, there are very, very few things that can go wrong. As you can see, even that's back to Levian here for next turn, potentially. And I am not feeling well if you are an Australian fan for Dhruv. The Tiding will be set, and play is back to his opponent. Yeah. He really needs a miracle, I think, as I mentioned. Dark Lure no more, but that's probably not even enough, because that still means you need to deal with the tiding, and last turn you couldn't. So let's see if Dhruv can pick up anything. Otherwise, we will have Vincenzo advance to the top 4. For now, unfortunately, that's the same as last turn. We could see again the seal from Vincenzo.
Here you just wait as you did before. You wait for Dhruv activating the GG.
Mm-hmm. He's thinking about it. But yeah, the situation is definitely quite tough for Dhruv. Thinking about it, if it's worth entering the battle phase or doing any of this. And he does, yeah. As mentioned, nothing surprising, he will activate the seal, just like last turn, they are bounced back, and now Vincenzo looking super confident to take this game home. He summons a dragon from the deck, and yeah, even a force to get the red ice. Okay, so now at least the top deck was quite good from Dhruv.
But he can
being the city, but yeah, okay. It gets negated right away by the Savage, not thinking about the possibility of a Gamma, which could have been a blowout here, honestly. And yeah, play is back to Vincenzo, who now, thanks to the Savage, has an out for the Nibiru, and I think will quickly OTK, even just the Levian here is enough without activating the effect. And that's what happens. 2 attacks come down from Vincenzo. He is the winner. He very convincingly takes this game 2-1. Almost makes a sweep, but in the end falls victim to Nibiru in game 2. Congratulations to both. But Vincenzo is the winner. So let's go back to us for the post-match discussion.